Okay, this is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. At this point, Samuel Jackson had never worked with Tim Burton before. And this is another example, I say, of like, just a checklist of boxes now. Working with directors, being characters he's never been. I know he wanted to work with Tim Burton, and I believe Tim Burton wanted to work with him. I'm not even going to say what I'm going to say. I really like Tim Burton. I've liked him for a long time, and even films that people will... There aren't that many films that people have complained about that he's made. One of the biggest is Planet of the Apes, and by that time, I hadn't seen Planet of the Apes. I think it's very interesting that Burton made it because he had a fear of them. A lot of people complain about the ending, the Lincoln ape ending, but I had more of a problem with every character seemed to wear a mouthpiece. I think Helena Bonham Carter, maybe Tim Roth as well, are the only ones who didn't seem to have problems with the mouthpiece. It just sounded like they were wearing like the elderly Princess Leia, with her false teeth. It's a little bit distracting, or a lot distracting. I was fine with the movie. I liked it. I mean, at least he got me to see it. I hadn't really had an interest in seeing Planet of the Apes, and I know that they're very famous movies, but I guess I'm in a generation ahead. I'm in maybe the Michael Moore generation that looks at Charlton Heston a little differently. And then there was the Johnny Depp fiasco of making Dark Shadows, which, in a way, I'm happy Depp got to do something that was so important to him, and with a director that you would at least want, and not just anybody. But it's not a good movie, and the ending is like... It's such a great collection of female characters, and it's like... There's like no point to the film. But then he made this. This is the film that kids were not old enough. This is, by the way, I believe, a Swedish steelbook. I had looked far and wide for the best, coolest copy, and to me this was absolutely the most beautiful. Like that it has the home on the back. And that the sleeve is actually kind of important. It's not just something to throw away. It has the string connecting the two. And at the time, I was writing something. This is way off topic, but there's a Fixed Twin song. He made it under an alias. Kind of just became a bootlegged thing, never really released. I always call the song Kite Girl, because for some reason I just saw somebody flying a girl on a kite, and I wrote a book about it, and then this came about. Their concept is much different than mine. Mine's more of a butterfly, but whatever. Samuel Jackson's character is very scary, at least in look. Here, and it was a neat decision of his to not be scary in the film. He's like, I look scary enough, and if this film is for kids at all, we don't want to scare them all away. And the stuff is scary in the film, but it really is that great medium of this is a little beyond its audience. And I think Jim Henson made a lot of films like that, like Labyrinth or Dark Crystal. The Secret of NIMH, Pixar, especially with like the Incredibles series. There's some things you're like, ooh, people die in this, and it's for families, you know. So you make your own decision. You say, no, not right now. Maybe next year or the year after, but I think it's pretty harmless. His character, you can tell he's having a lot of fun. I think that's really what it is about. The film's fun. There's sadness in it, and there's darkness in it, but in general, it's not really something to think too much about. It's just about kind of a visual fun treat, which is a lot of Tim Burton's things. He's very good with the visual. He knows the medium he's in. I don't know if you've ever been watching a movie while doing something else, and you realize you don't even have to look at it because everybody's just talking like this. But then Burton makes it so visually interesting. I mean, he used Bo Welch for so long. You have to watch it because of the character designs, because of things that are happening. Each frame, take Beetlejuice. I mean, the art inside of it, the way the characters are dressed, the insane bowl of shrimp, you can't forget these things. Having a zipper thrown at you and then a big metal plate, boom, Beetlejuice. I think Tim Burton, I don't think he's lost it, at all. I'm a little sad that he's lost Helena Bonham Carter. I don't know what happened there. He always seems to have a muse. And she's there, and they're together, and then they're not. Who knows? But I definitely say it's worth it. It's fun. This kid, I had recognized him. I was like, oh yeah, okay. I knew the kid, and then I couldn't place him. It was because of his accent. He's been made to do an accent which is not his own, and I think he struggles a little bit in the acting because of it. So it's something that you have to kind of get past. I realize, oh, that kid he's actually an amazing actor. Sometimes it's difficult. You're focusing on an accent as well as doing your character. So, yeah, you have to look past that a little bit. But once you do, you'll see Samuel Jackson, one of the most awesome characters since The Spirit. Yeah, I said it. I'll be doing that next. No hype.